Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to our board meeting tonight. Can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Officer, would you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amanda, will you call the roll?
Trustee Messick?
Here.
Trustee Rocco?
Here.
Trustee Sheehan?
Here.
Trustee Casera?
Here.
Trustee Lautner?
Here.
Trustee Zora?
Here.
President DeCipio?
Here.
Quorum is present, sir.
Okay, our first item of business tonight is the swearing of a probationary police officer, Officer Escamilla. He'll be attending tonight to ceremonial oath of office. David is 27 years old, newlywed, lives in North Riverside. He attended Cook County Sheriff's Police Training Academy from April to June of 2015, and it was held at Triton College. Officer Escamilla previously worked at Enterprise. He holds a bachelor's degree in marketing at St. Xavier University, and in addition is bilingual in English and Spanish, can fluently speak, read, write in both languages. Officer, congratulations. Chief, would you do the honors, please?
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, David Escamilla,
I, David Escamilla,
hereby solemnly swear
hereby solemnly swear
that I will uphold and defend
that I will uphold and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of
and I
Illinois,
will faithfully carry out
and I will faithfully carry out
all the duties imposed upon
all the duties imposed upon
and entrusted in me
and entrusted in me
as a probationary police officer
as a probationary police
for
officer
the Village of Grange.
for the Village of Grange.
Again, just like any time in our enforcement of law, the basics of what we've got in our back of the crowd that's here, from our higher-ups to the family that's here today. The tidbit that's going to go out for Thanksgiving, I'm going to touch upon a little bit right now. It basically says that it's a special time for thanks and being thankful, and David has that opportunity, and we're thankful for him, and he's thankful for his opportunity. Because Thanksgiving is a favorite holiday for many people, and not just because of the turkey, the dressing, the cranberry and dessert, and the pounds you put on, but it's being thankful for family, friends that we love, and the blessings that are bestowed upon us. Here are a few additional also things that we're here to be thankful for: good health, family and close friends, colleagues, and positive work environment, the Village of LaGrange Park and its elected officials, the residents that we serve and protect on a daily basis, and quite simply, we're very thankful just to become the police. And we're honored to do that, and especially at the Village of LaGrange Park. And again, I am so honored to be able to give this opportunity over to David and be part of our team, be part of our family. We're growing again. Positive growth is good, and that's what we're doing today. So David, if you would like to have somebody come up, post this on you. I believe it's your bride, so make sure she comes up. And then if you want to ID the family that's here first and let it be known. No, come on up.
My wife, Angie, my mother, Gloria, my father, David Sr., my sister, Delissa, and my brother, Daniel.
Thank you. Do you want to post that on David? What's up? Congratulations, David. Congratulations.
Officer, on behalf of the village board and your family, it's a privilege and a pleasure. Oh, that's nice. See, don't ever forget where we came from, right? It's good to see you guys here tonight supporting your son and father and husband, brother and sister. And David, it's a privilege and a pleasure to have you on board and join our family, and we look forward to great things. Thank you. David Sr., you have to stay. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
You too.
Thank you.
Same to you and your family. Thank you, sir.
Okay, public participation. Consent agenda, Amanda?
The items on the consent agenda are as follows. A, approval of minutes, village board meeting, October 27th, 2015, work session meeting, November 10th, 2015. B, action resolution for construction on state highways, motion to approve resolution for construction on state highway. C, action 2016 meeting schedule, motion to approve a resolution approving the 2016 meeting dates. D, action motion to authorize the president and chairperson of the finance committee to sign the register for bills and authorize the treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in payment of operating bills and salaries as itemized in the check registers. E, action motion to authorize the village treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in the payment of payroll and other bills that become due between this date and January 26, 2015, with subsequent approval of the payroll register and voucher register by the Board of Trustees at its regular meeting to be held on January 26, 2015.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Amanda, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Rocco?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Amanda. Next is our village manager's report in Julia's absence. Emily, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Well, I do. Thank you. Our Public Works Director has just informed me that due to the snow we had this past weekend, it has set leaf collection back a few days. And Public Works will be finishing up the remaining leaves on the east side this week.
We'll probably go Monday, Tuesday next week, and then we'll jump to the west.
Beautiful.
And then the only other thing is I would just remind everyone that the village offices are closed on Thursday and Friday this week in observation of Thanksgiving, and the police and fire departments will remain open.
Thank you, Emily. Okay, administration committee report, Trustee Lautner.
Thank you, Mr. President. This evening I have a few items for updating the community and one item for action and discussion, or discussion and action. First of all, the updates. Village offices closed, as Emily just reported. Village office will be closed on Thursday, November 26th and Friday, November 27th in observance of the Thanksgiving holiday. Regular hours will resume on Monday, November 30th at 8:30. The police and fire departments will remain open. Next item is regarding Small Business Saturday, this upcoming Saturday. Residents who take advantage of retailing and dining opportunities in Grange Park play a very key role in maintaining businesses and generating important sales tax revenues essential to funding vital public services. For every retail dollar spent in the village, 1% goes to help fund public services and projects, such as vital infrastructure improvements. Demonstrate your support for our local businesses by shopping locally on Small Business Saturday, which is November 28th, and throughout the holiday season. The tree lighting ceremony that we celebrate annually. Join in the tradition of lighting of the official village holiday tree at Memorial Park on Friday, December 4th. The festivities include the lighting of a tree at the west end of Memorial Park at 6 p.m., presentation of the colors by local Boy Scouts, caroling by a local choir, music, hot cocoa, and holiday cheer. Come out and please join the fun. Holiday in the Park this year. The Grange Park Chamber of Commerce will be hosting the annual Holiday in the Park event at the Community Park District Recreation Center on Saturday, December 12th from 12 noon until 3 p.m. This family-friendly event will include free pictures with Santa, a petting zoo, cookie decorating, hot chocolate, chili, games, raffle prizes, and more. The event is free and open to the public. For more information on this event, please visit the LaGrange Park Chamber of Commerce website. And we have one item for discussion and action this evening regarding the amendment to the LaGrange Park Municipal Code liquor license regulations. A little bit of background is that the Dinner Club, an existing business located in downtown LaGrange, has recently signed a lease to relocate their operations to the Village Market. In September, the proprietors of the business submitted a letter that was attached to our packet to the Village Board requesting the ability to sell packaged beer and wine to supplement their existing meal preparation business. The proprietors are also requesting the ability to allow patrons to bring their own alcoholic beverage, BYOB. At the September 22nd, 2015 Village Board meeting, the Village Board discussed options to expand the village's existing liquor license provisions to allow businesses such as the Dinner Club to sell packaged wine and beer, which may then subsequently be consumed on-site by patrons of the establishment. Initially, the Village Board indicated that we were not currently supportive of allowing BYOB, but would consider exploring the options in the future. The village currently offers 7 classes of liquor licenses, Class A through G, outlined in Section 112.19 of the Municipal Code. The number of each type of license issue is also restricted as detailed in Section 112.20. Based upon the discussion, staff recommends amending Section 112.19 of the Municipal Code, Section B, the Class B liquor license regulations, to allow businesses that provide prepared meals or box lunch service to the public to also be permitted to obtain a liquor license. Staff also recommends amending Section 112.20 of the Municipal Code, Section A, to increase the total number of Class A and B licenses available from 5 to 6, which would allow the Dinner Club to apply for a Class B liquor license. Staff recommends approving the attached ordinance that was provided and updated as part of our packet, Chapter 112, Title 11 of the Municipal Code regulating the liquor sales and license.
So I will entertain a motion.
The motion is to approve an ordinance amending Chapter 112 of Title 11 of the LaGrange Park Municipal Code regulating liquor sales and licenses.
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion. Trustee Lautner?
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, we, as a village board, have discussed this item a couple of times now and raised various questions, most recently regarding when would the training be conducted, clarification on which ordinances would be updated. That has been clarified to make sure that the appropriate ordinance and the appropriate amount of expanded licenses would be modified should we accept this motion. So I would certainly support this motion based on our past discussions and the agreement by the proprietors to ensure that in compliance with state and local regulations, that all the training would be appropriately conducted prior to the sale of any alcoholic beverages.
Thank you, Trustee Lautner. Any comments from the board? Ms. Keating, any comments?
None, no.
Amanda, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Rocco?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Trustee Lautner. Okay, moving on, Building and Zoning Committee, Trustee Zora.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a few activities to discuss. 105 building permits were issued this past October compared to 138 which were issued in October of 2014. Year-to-date, the village has issued 81 fewer permits as of the same time of last year. As such, estimated construction costs and permit fees collected were also substantially down from what they were in October of 2014. 227 inspections were conducted this past October, with 30 of those not approved. As of the end of October, there have still been 89 more inspections conducted year-to-date as compared to the same time last year. As the end of October, the critical structural roof repairs to the Ace Hardware were completed, allowing for all of the interior shoring to be removed and the front of the store to be open to customers. There is still a pending modification to be completed at the main entrance, which involves the steel lintel and support. Plans have been submitted and the modifications will be forthcoming. During the month, plans are submitted for the Dinner Club, which will be located at the Village Market South Building. There will be a number of modifications taking place in the tenant space, including the installation of a fire sprinkler system. It is hoped that work will be completed by the end of the year or early 2016. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Zora. Engineering capital projects, Trustee Casera.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have 3 items to report on tonight. Only closeout items remain to be completed on the Illinois Department of Transportation IDOT contract for Kemen Avenue resurfacing project from 31st Street to 26th Street. All maintenance responsibility for the traffic signal installation at 31st Street has been returned to IDOT. Second item, the repaving of Cleveland Avenue is also complete with only punch list and closeout items remaining to be performed. The work is expected to be done by mid-November. Third and final item, the resurfacing of Pine Tree Lane and the portion of Finsbury Lane that was not part of the McNaughton development is complete. The contractor, GA Paving, still has landscape restoration to work performed and punch list items to correct. All work on the project is expected to be done by mid-November. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Casera. Public Safety Committee, Trustee Messick.
Thank you, Mr. President. Police Department summary of activities for October of 2015. Total number of crimes reported continues to remain almost identical to last year. To date, all reported crimes against persons and property are at 194, compared to 195 in total through October of last year. Total Police Department service and assistance calls remain lower than last year at this time, with 5,506 reported through October of this year as compared to 5,987 reported through October of 2014. Sergeants and patrol officers on all shifts have been very active in writing tickets based on a variety of infractions. The comparable totals indicate that there have been 5,665 to date through October of 2015. This in comparison to 5,194 through October of last year. This is a positive increase of approximately 10%. The combined effort of resources by the Village of LaGrange Park and Nazareth High School has made for a positive outcome in relation to the night football games that were hosted at their site throughout this year. And that concludes the Police Department activities. Next is Fire Department activities for October of 2015. EMS responses for this month were 148. There have been 1,445 year-to-date compared to 1,329 year-to-date last year. Fire rescue incidents this month were 38, and there have been 423 year-to-date compared to 431 last year. Many fire safety education presentations took place throughout the month for our schools and other groups as we celebrated Fire Prevention Week this month. Our open house also took place on the 10th at Fire Station Number 1, which had a high number of attendees, and where our firefighters did a great job of providing a lot of safety education and fun. In addition, we staffed Fire Station Number 2 for the Chamber of Commerce Haunted Trolley event and distributed fire safety information and warm cider. On October 4th, firefighters conducted live fire training at the home located at 750 North Brainerd prior to it being torn down to make way for a new home. Various training evaluations took place within the home, which provided firefighters with great opportunities to practice their skills using actual fire. We were joined by firefighters from LaGrange, and as always, we appreciate the neighbors' patience. During the month, the pumps on our 3 engines, pumpers, and our ladder truck were tested by Underwriters Laboratories, which is required annually. Each of these passed their critical tests, which includes overall operation and pumping to their rated capacities, but some maintenance work will be needed to complete to repair leaking seals, valves, etc. There was various fire responses and EMS responses and calls throughout the month, and that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Messick. Public Works Committee, Trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. The following is a summary of operations for the Public Works Department for the month of October. Brush pickup took place the first full week in October. 104 hours were spent making several passes through town, removing approximately 97 yards of brush from the parkway. Leaf pickup started the second full week in October. 235 hours were spent collecting leaves throughout town, removing approximately 825 yards. Over 70 hours were spent on the village's trees, including trimming, removal of several dead trees, and wrapping new tree plantings with protective tubing. 235 hours were spent on the maintenance of public works equipment and vehicles. 48 hours were spent filling potholes with using 15 tons of UPM. 123 hours were spent on building and ground maintenance around the Village Hall, Public Works facility, and along 31st Street. The street sweeper cleaned over 197 miles of street during 120 hours and picked up 202 yards of debris. Barricades were delivered for 15 block parties during the month. Various work orders were completed with crews removing roadkill, tree trimming, individual brush pickups, parkway repairs, cleaning sewer catch basins, and making sign repairs. Various maintenance on vehicles were performed. As far as the water department, over 264 hours and 98 overtime man hours during the month of October were spent on maintenance and repair of sewer and water mains. 36,380,000 gallons of water were purchased from the Brookfield North Riverside Water Commission. 1,272 water meters were read in Section 1. 52 monthly accounts and 23 final meter readings were taken. Various inspections, appointments, and service calls were performed. 15 water bacteria and stage 2 quarterly samples were taken and all samples passed. 170 utility locations were identified prior to excavations. 2 water mains were repaired and 2 service lines were repaired. 3 Buffalo box repairs were made and 1 new fire hydrant was installed on the 300 block of Park. And if I could, Mr. President, just for clarification for the people watching at home, Director McLaughlin, for next week with the leaves, is that everything, sections 1, 2, and 3, or just 1 and 3?
It's just the east side will be finished, and then the west side will be started, and we do not expect to get to the center until the following week.
Okay, but we're still planning on 1 more pickup on all 3 sections, weather permitting. Very good. That's my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Finance Committee, Trustee Rocco.
Thank you, Mr. President. We are halfway through the year as of October 31st, halfway through our fiscal year. The highlights are fiscal year to date, general fund revenue is at 55% of the annual budget and approximately $314,000 greater than last year. Property tax receipts are about $67,000 higher than last year at this time. Sales tax revenue is essentially flat from the prior year. Natural gas tax receipts have dropped about 48% from last year. Prior year receipts were higher due to extremely cold weather in 2014, and recent gas prices have been lower than the prior year. Permit revenue is about 19% above last year. Intergovernmental revenue is about $87,000 or 10.5% greater than last year due to increased receipts from the state shared revenues, including income tax and personal property replacement tax. This year amount should be about $52,000 higher, but the state has withheld the past 2 months of use tax due to the budget impasse. Charges for services are about $63,000 greater than last year, primarily due to higher ambulance fee collections. Fine revenue is 13% higher than the prior year, due in part to the police department's use of the state's local debt recovery program to collect unpaid tickets. Miscellaneous revenue is about $55,000 higher than the prior year, which includes the collection of payments in lieu of taxes due from prior years. Total general fund expenditures are within expectations at 45% of the annual budget and about $936,000 lower than last year. Last year's budget included a $1.2 million transfer to the Capital Projects Fund compared to $200,000 this year. Excluding the difference in the capital transfer, total fiscal year-to-date expenditures are about $46,000 or 1.3% below than last year. And then as you see, there's itemized, and we've got the spreadsheet for the tax sales receipts and income tax receipts. And then we do have 3 items, excuse me one second, 3 items up for, they all are tied in together, up for action. Dealing with the property tax levy. The purpose of this is for the 2015 property tax levy and annual bond abatement ordinances. The village's 2015 property tax levy ordinance will be reviewed. It was reviewed at the November 10th workshop, and it's on the agenda for tonight. The board approved an estimated property tax levy at the October 27th meeting of $3,500,132, which is 2.83% above the 2014 levy extension of $3,403,907. Since the estimated amount is less than a 5% increase, a public hearing is not required under the Truth in Taxation Law. The village's annual property tax levy is restricted by the Illinois Property Tax Extension Limitation Law, PTEL. PTEL limits the amount the village may increase the aggregate levy each year to the lesser of 5% or the change in the Consumer Price Index. For the 2015 levy, the PTEL CPI change is 0.8% and is therefore the limiting factor. PTEL allows the village to collect additional taxes on any new property value. Over the last 10 years, the value of new property has ranged between 0.04% and 0.64% of the village's total equalized assessed value. Since we will not know the actual amount of the new value until well after the village's tax levy ordinance is due to the Cook County Clerk, an estimate of 2% of EAV has been included in the levy estimate calculation. The county will reduce the village's extension to the amount allowed under PTEL. It is important to note that while the village's levy is increased due to including the new property value, the additional amount is distributed across the new property and is not increasing the rate for existing property. Unless directed otherwise, the county clerk will add 3% to the village's levy to offset uncollectible taxes. As has been done in the past, the 2015 levy reduces the loss factor to 2% based on the village's collection history. This additional amount does not increase the total levy allowed under the PTEL. 3 proposed ordinances are attached. As you can see, the first ordinance authorizes the county clerk to extend the village's proposed 2015 property tax levy. The second ordinance provides the county clerk direction on how to reduce the village's 2015 property tax levy in the likely event that the aggregate levy exceeds the PTEL allowed amount. As in the past, the village is directing the county clerk to apply any reduction due to PTEL to the corporate general levy. This ensures the special purpose amounts, such as for the police pension, will be fully levied. The third ordinance is to abate the property tax levy for the 2015 sewer refunding bonds. These bonds were originally issued in 2006 for sewer infrastructure projects. While the village pays for the bonds with the sewer fee revenue, the bonds are also backed by an annual property tax levy, as included in the bond ordinance. This protection provides protection to the bondholders, thereby lowering the bond cost for the village. The village must direct the county clerk to abate this property tax, or the bond levy will be extended. Staff recommends the village board approve the attached ordinances tonight. So I will do it in 3 separate motions, Mr. President.
Yes.
The first motion is I move to approve an ordinance providing for the annual tax levy for the village of Grange Park, Cook County, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2015, and ending April 30th, 2016.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Amanda, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Rocco?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
I move to approve an ordinance providing for specific reductions of the 2015 property tax levy pursuant to the Property Tax Extension Limitation Law.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Amanda, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Rocco?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
I move to approve an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2015 to pay the principal of and interest on $3,495,000 general obligation refunding bonds, the alternate revenue source, Series 2014 of the Village of Grange Park, Cook County, Illinois.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Amanda, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Rocco?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
And that concludes my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Rocco. Okay, other reports, village clerk,
I have nothing to report, Mr. President.
our village treasurer. Our village engineer. Our village attorney.
I have nothing to report, Mr. President.
Motion to approve committee and collectors' reports is presented.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next is Commercial Revitalization Committee, Trustee Casera.
And thank you, Mr. President. I have one item to report on, and it also includes an action item. At the November 10th, 2015 Village Board Work Session, the Village Board reviewed and discussed a proposal from S.B. Friedman for consultant services to conduct a tax increment financing feasibility study SB Friedman provided four alternative proposals ranging in cost from $18,000 to $44,460. Based on the village board's purpose and objectives for the study, the village board reached a consensus that option 2, at a cost of $29,260, would best meet the needs of the village while remaining sensitive to the village's fiscal situation. SB Friedman has provided an engagement letter outlining the parameters and costs of the services they will provide in conjunction with the TIF feasibility study. Should the village board deem the engagement letter acceptable, the village manager will execute the letter and staff will proceed with SB Friedman to begin the study. Make a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the village manager to execute an engagement letter with SB Friedman and Associates for consultant services, conduct a tax increments financing feasibility study in an amount not to exceed $29,260.
Second.
We have a motion and a second discussion. Trustee Kucera?
Thank you, Mr. President. We spent many hours in committee as well as board time with this. I am excited to bring this and have this in front of us this evening, and I am truly for it.
Thank you, Trustee Kucera. Any other comments from the board? Trustee Lautner?
Thank you, Mr. President. Certainly it always raises a lot of concerns and questions about when you throw out the acronym TIF, but I think this is a great way for us to define the areas and to determine if, in fact, it makes sense for our community. So I'm very excited about the results of the study that's going to be conducted here, and I think the organization that we've selected is a very professional organization. I look forward to their results and their recommendation.
Thank you, Trustee Lautner. Any other comments from the board? Amanda, call the roll.
Trustee Massick?
Yes.
Trustee Rocco?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Kucera?
Yes.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zura?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
And thank you, Trustee Kucera.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I'd just like to take a minute to again thank everybody for their time on committee. Assistant Manager Emily Rodman, thank you for all your help, and it's been a lot of work, but enjoyable, and looking forward to the next steps. Thank you.
Okay, next, my report. I really have nothing to add except on behalf of the board and staff, we wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and a happy and healthy holiday season. Any public participation at this point? Any comments from the board before we adjourn? Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just one thing, I'd like to wish Nazareth good luck at state this weekend.
Any other comments from the board? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.